Sustainability? Paano ba yan? If I were to explain sustainability to my 6-year-old daughter, I would say that sustainability is about little everyday habits and small changes we can make to help take care of our planet. And that it should be every single one's responsibility and goal to live more sustainably. Hello, supers! Welcome back to Paano ba to the podcast, a Spotify exclusive, produced by me, Bianca Gonzalez, and Anima Podcasts. For this episode, I am speaking with Mayora herself, Frances Lim Cabatuando, the founder of the hit Facebook group Home Buddies. Did you know that Mayora is a big advocate of sustainability? Sustainable living seems like such a big concept. Parang ang fancy, di ba? Pero importanteng pag-usapan because it's about doing our best to lessen waste, lessen energy consumption, lessen carbon emissions, so that future generations can enjoy our natural resources. I know a lot of us think, isa lang naman ako. Will it really make a difference? The answer is, hindi ka isa lang, ikaw ay isa pa, and yes, it makes a difference. So start small and start here. Thanks to IKEA for sponsoring this episode. IKEA is a great partner for affordability and sustainability. Just to tell you a bit more about Mayora, her real name is Frances, and she is an associate creative director in one of the top agencies in the country, handling brands ranging from food and beverage to banks, tech, and health, and she is the designer and content creator for Nobi Home. In this conversation, she explains to us what the minimalism game and what Friendsgiving Day is, her advice on giving or selling items, and she shares some of the best tips she's learned from kapitbahays that she practices as well. Let's get right to it. Hi, Mayora!
Hello! Hi, Bianca!
Now it feels weird to be calling you Mayora knowing I'm so much older than you. Hi, Frances! Welcome to Paano ba to?
Hello po. Nice to be here. Hello mga kapitbahay.
Love it. So I was reading a bit about your super interesting story. Syempre, you have the hit Facebook group Home Buddies. But one of the things that happened bago mo start yung Facebook page was you coming across the minimalism game. So tama ba to? It's a game na basically kailangan kung sasali ka, you let go of clutter for 30 days. And the one who gets rid of the most clutter wins. Okay, so tell us about that. Bring us back to that time nung na-discover mo yung game na yon.
So I discovered this game. It's by the Minimalists. So they have their website, theminimalists.com. And I had my Instagram before. No followers, not much followers. And then I just threw it there na who wants to do it with me? Surprisingly, a lot of people during the pandemic wanted to declutter because, they weren't used to being at home all the time. And suddenly, they've been seeing, ang dami ko palang gamit. And so I created the group so that it's easier. How you play it is day 1, you declutter one thing. Day 2, dalawa. Day 3, 3. And then by the end of the 30 days, I think it's, I forgot that exact number, but it's around mga 157 ata, like that. And that's how much things you can, parang you didn't know that you could throw away or you didn't need. But after that, parang it's so fulfilling.
Do you remember some of the few things you first decluttered?
The easiest was going through my college things, like yung mga lanyards, mga laminated IDs, yung mga org stuff.
I feel so attacked. Ang dami ko dyan sa baba. From mga events, ganyan.
Yes. Parang I did it by category. So, following the, how Maricondo would do it, right? Parang you start with clothes and then you go through your books and then your komono. And so may mga categories. So it's easier for me to think of sa simula isa-isa. So I try to go for the bigger things. But the longer I played the game, mas maliliit na yung sinatro ko, like batteries, like 12 pieces of expired batteries pala I've been storing somewhere.
Yeah. I can relate because I got to interview dati mga KonMari experts as well. And ang sabi nila, the biggest challenge to throwing away clutter is really yung pagkasenti nating mga Pinoy. Parang we hold on to things kasi meron tayong emotional attachment to it. So did you go through that? Or when you started it with the community, may mga kwento din ba na ganon?
A lot who joined were moms. So as they were going through their things, they were discussing then na parang, should I throw this away na or should I give it away na? But this was used by my kid. But then my kid is like 10 years old na. So those are the things na, yun nga, lumalabas yung sentimentality ng Pinoy.
So it's one thing to do it for 30 days. But then, as we all know, parang in 1 year, you can gather so many things. So what has been your practice since doing that for the first 30 days? What has your practice been to keep your place as clutter-free as possible? Meron ka bang regular decluttering choo-choo?
It's hard to do the minimalism game. So I really do it once a year lang. So nakaka 2 years na ako. But my parang guiding principle na lang is when I bring something in, something has to come out na similar nature. So for example, if I went to a store, I really want this chair and I want to buy it. Then and then I will bring home the chair, but I have to take one seating furniture out. Or if I buy, say, 5 new clothes, I have to take out 5 old clothes that I don't want. Just so I don't accumulate. It's an exchange lang.
Yeah, that's very fair. I get that. And may naalala lang ako na kwento from Direct JP Habak on their podcast. Parang sa kanila naman, similar to, parang potluck. Sa bahay daw nila, nung may nagdala ng pansit din yung binigay niya. Kasi kung hindi, ang dami nilang pansit. Parang ganon. I guess it's similar in that way. That's super interesting. Even in the small things, you do that. So like, for example, a plant or like
Sometimes
tableware.
hindi siya automatic. Like, nag-accumulate pa rin siya. Pero once I recognize na, oh, I bought pala this much, say, clothes this month, then I make it a point na next month I bawi by, decluttering. Which is also why I created this day in Homebodies. Thanksgiving Day kasi happened on my birthday way back, I think, 2020. Or 2021, December 18, 2020. And I said, I want to dedicate every 18th of the month for sharing or giving away so that of all the blessings that are, outpouring for me, dapat once a month, magbibigay ako outward.
I was gonna ask about that kasi you said na parang when you bring something in, you take something out. So ano yung taking something out for you? Is that giving, selling, etc.? How do you decide, I guess?
Before, when I had more time, it was selling. Kasi lucrative siya to think about it. Like on the internet, you can, as long as you take a photo very nicely or you show them that it's usable pa, you can actually sell it almost close to the original price. Or sometimes you upsell it, like you add a patch somewhere, then it becomes like an upgraded ukay. But then now that I'm kind of busy na and I don't have time to, parang spruce up or make something look nicer, and I feel like I won't get as much value din naman if I sell it, then I just give it away.
How about for someone without the network of Mayora? Diba? How should they go about either selling or giving or trading their items na they want to discard na?
I think first is, if you're giving away something, wag mo lang ibigay just because, this person needs something, bigay ko na. Parang isipin mo din if the person will really use it. May tendency kasi, di ba, mga Pinoy na, kunyari my mom, kunyari sabihin ko, I don't need na these clothes. Sabihin niya, bigay natin sa mga pinsan mo sa probinsya. And I think about it, parang, if yung mga parang party wear, ibibigay ko sa probinsya, they won't use it eh. Parang it's sayang, right? So parang give them with intention na they will be able to use it. If not, then better give it off to someone who, hindi mo parang walang, not related to you, but alam mo na mapapakinabangan nila the things.
Yeah, I love that. Of course, parang accumulating things and letting go of things is just one part of living sustainably, right? But there's also yung little everyday practices that contribute to at least living more sustainably. Can you share with us a few tips, habits that anyone can do in their home for this?
Sige, kukuha ko ng samples from Homebodies. Say, when you go grocery shopping, di ba, usually when you buy your mga meat or even vegetables, they put it in plastic. What mga kapitbahays would do is they would bring yung Tupperware ni mama or the microwavables. So you put na the meat there. At least diretso na din from, it saves you the waste and also it saves you time. Kasi from the supermarket, naka-pack na siya eh. So, diretso na sa fridge. So, that's one of my favorite tips.
You mean you got that from the group as well?
Yes.
Oh, I love it. Talagang learning community. How about at home in terms of energy? Kuryente, electricity.
Medyo modern yung suggestion ko. Ito mapapagastos ka sa simula, pero if you think about it, mas sustainable in the long run. It's to invest in smart home. So me at home here, everything, almost, hindi man everything, but almost all lights are parang automated na. So at night, by 12 midnight, everything will shut down. So it wants, make sure na parang it helps me sleep kasi, it's time to sleep na, it's dark. Also, if ever man na makatulog ako before 12, I'm sure na by 12, it will shut down. So yung ilaw, hindi natatakbo yung kuryente. It's the same thing with my aircon. In the morning, it will shut off by mga 6 a.m. And then mga 10 minutes after, my electric fan will turn on. It's also one way to save the kuryente. Because sometimes, you don't need naman the cold air na, diba? Parang minsan nakakatulog ka lang ng matagal. But yun, those are my ways to save kuryente.
I love it. We're taking a short break from our conversation with Mayora for a little story time about IKEA. So back in November 2021, I had the honor of hosting the launch of IKEA Philippines. And getting to work on a series of campaign videos with the IKEA team opened my eyes to IKEA being more than just a furniture company who is also known for their meatballs. They are a brand that takes sustainability seriously. And so for this episode, I invited Jen Diaz, the IKEA Commercial Activity Leader for Sales, and I asked Jen to tell us more about sustainability as a core value of IKEA and how they can help empower us to live more sustainably as well.
Here kasi in IKEA, it's not just about offering products that are made from renewable materials, but it's more of like, it's part of our values. So not just in products, we encourage our coworkers, our customers, and even our partners to live a more sustainable lifestyle.
Just to give you a bit of a background, when you check out, you literally bag your own things. Lahat ng binili mo, ilalagay mo sa bag. And so you do have to bring your own eco bags or, of course, purchase what is your policy on plastic and paper use?
Actually, we have already phased out all our single-use plastics, and then we only use paper products that are FSC certified or Forest Stewardship Council certified paper products.
So this is the exciting part, IKEA products. Can you cite some examples of your products that are sustainable?
For textiles, we have the Bengta curtains that are made out of PET bottles. And also, like, we offer cassette textiles that if you want, like, you can cut it according to the size that you want. And then the leftovers, we bring it to R2R, our partners, and then they will be the ones to upcycle it. Like, they make pouches and bags out of it. We have a lot of sustainable products that are, in terms of textiles, we have made of renewable cotton. And then for our famous Istad, the Ziploc bags. So, yeah, it's made out of sugarcane. And the energy-saving bulbs, we have the Riot, the Lidare, so lower electricity consumption. Yeah.
At IKEA, you have a lot of options for sustainable products to choose from for your bedroom, bathroom, living area, and for example, for your kitchen. They have the Lagan. It's a kitchen faucet that uses less water, so it makes water saving easier. O, diba? Plus, right in their store, they encourage upcycling and recycling in their circular hub.
So for our circular shop, it's basically our secondhand furniture shop. It's where all our X displays or X displays go. So you can purchase all our X displays in a markdown price, and it's in perfect condition. It's just that it's assembled already, so you have to like bring it home and assembled na. We encourage our customers to bring in their old textiles or old plastic bottles, tin cans, and then we will recycle it for them.
So, in case you haven't yet, visit IKEA Pasay City when you can. Imagine the largest IKEA in the world is right here in the Philippines. Do remember to bring your proof of vaccination before going to the store, and no booking is needed. It's a huge store, like I said, so if you want to check out the items beforehand, you can download the IKEA shopping app on Google Play Store or the App Store, and you can follow their Instagram or their Facebook account at IKEA Philippines or their website at IKEA.com/ph/en. We continue the conversation with home buddies Mayora, and I ask her about how she deals with trash, with food waste, changing up her space without having to buy anything new, and she tells us why she calls her space the ever-growing home. You pointed out something so important, which is baka mas mahal siya sa simula, but in the long run, mas makakamura ka. Can you explain that a bit?
Yeah, so syempre investing in smart home, 'di ba? You buy your plugs, you set up the bulbs. So meron talagang parang cash out na medyo mabigat.
Yeah.
Pero if you think about the energy na nasa-save mo, kunyari, you nakatulog ka until say 12 noon kasi pagod ka. Pero imagine if your aircon was still running from 7 to 12 noon na hindi mo naman dapat kailangan, then that's the amount that you're saving then eventually.
Yeah. Parang pag ganun kasi, you'd think na mababawi mo siya kaagad. But I think the mentality no has to be like, ano siya talaga, in the years to come, dun ka mas makakamura. How about with trash? Are you particular about that at home?
With trash, I'm not yet that, parang ang hirap kasi I would say I want to parang use less plastic, but then all the deliveries then come with plastic. So I try na lang to reuse them. So say if I will ship something out to a friend, I will reuse the packaging of existing deliveries that I received. Yung mga paper bags lalo na, or even PR packages, right? Super ganda ng mga packaging. I just reuse them.
Same. Yan naman yung tendency natin na parang ang ganda, sayang, ayoko itapon. But yeah, reusing it. How about food waste?
Ang hirap. I guess one way that I manage it is I just recook existing tirang food into something else. Say your adobo could be adobo rice, or parang a poor man's pulled pork sandwich. But try to make something new out of tirang food so that you don't, minsan kasi may tendency, especially if you're living alone like me, pag luma na yung food or tira na, parang ayoko na niya na naman.
Oo, pang ilang init na.
So yun, yung trick ko na lang to myself is I make it look different para I would still eat it.
Yeah. And I think equally hard for people na, kunyari, mas marami sa bahay. Kasi mas mahirap tansyahin. Minsan mas gutom yung mga tao, minsan hindi. So, I think also not over cooking. I mean, in terms of quantity, helps a lot. I did want to ask you about your space. Kasi you keep mentioning na parang you do have a limited space at home. And I know that parang importante sa'yo yung furniture that are dual purpose, which is also, kung isipin mo, points to sustainability as well.
Yes. When I started my Instagram, my diary of my home, I called it the ever-growing home. Kasi I made sure when I come here, walang fixed furniture, walang mabigat or walang nakadikit sa wall so that I can move things around. Especially, say, minsan kasi, especially during the pandemic, na parang you couldn't go out, you have a small space. So what I did talaga is to rearrange everything. Sometimes, nandito sa malapit sa window yung sofa ko. Sometimes, it's by that area and then this side is my bedside. It kind of helps me move to the energy of my room. I don't know if you feel the same thing.
Yes,
Yung
yes.
environment, parang may aura siya na parang sometimes this is not working. Parang I feel heavy. So I move things around. And in that sense, yung function din, parang ng mga furniture mo, nagiging dual purpose. Sometimes, kunyari, I have a bench siya. But sometimes I use it as a rack for my, electronics. Yung maganda doon is parang ang dami mong gamit even if konti lang sila talaga.
Yeah. Dito sa bahay, it's my husband na kitikite. Lalo na nung pandemic dahil hindi nakakalabas, he kept moving things around at home. And you're right, it changes yung energy flow of the place. And I'm a big believer in energy din. So for those people who have had the same space for quite some time, gusto nila ng konting pick-me-upper without having to acquire anything new, do you have tips on rearranging your space?
Ako, parang I really start with, as in you sit down and you look around and you try to get a feel of what is this current space making me feel? And if it feels heavy or it feels sakto lang, then, dun mo ma-feel kung dapat ba malaki yung babaguhin mo or baka naman konting decors lang yung kailangan galawin. It depends on your emotional need, I guess, at that moment. And then next is to figure out what is your one big parang central furniture that you will focus on. Kasi I learned this also from an architect. Sabi niya, when you focus on one big thing, everything else will, parang yung focal point, everything else will work around it. So at least guided ka. Hindi lahat ginagalaw mo all at the same time. So parang meron kang grounding furniture. So say if it's your sofa, then you put first your sofa where you want to put it. And then pag okay na yan, wag mo na yan gagalawin. Everything else will just move around it. Parang ganun.
Yeah. Siguro what I'd like to add lang is natural light is a big factor din for me in moving around the space. Kung mahilig ka din sa araw, parang it gives you so much energy when the natural light comes in versus yung sinabi mo kanina pag malamig, tas madilim, parang sarap matulog na lang. When you buy, especially smaller items, na inisip natin, maliit lang yan. How do you balance, I guess, being eco-friendly versus wallet-friendly?
Ang hirap.
Diba, lalo na sa bigger items kasi parang it's easier to grasp. But with smaller items, paano yung internal debate na yun sa'yo?
May tendency kasi pag mura, bibili na agad. Natutunan ko na lang from, I think it's a financial vlogger, si Tita Thea ata to. Isipin, parang wag mo muna bilhin and then wait for 2 weeks or a month or wait a certain period of time. If hindi ka pa rin makatulog for that period of time or nasa isip mo pa rin or talagang nakatatlong balik ka na sa store, then even if maliit lang siya or mura lang siya, yun, bibilin mo na siya. Pero not because you can afford it, you buy it right away. Parang ganun.
Yeah, same. I take my time to think about kung iniisip ko pa siya mga next week, baka kailangan ko talaga to. Pero pag hindi mo na siya iniisip, that means, I didn't really need it in the first place. Eto, this is a bit more controversial. Regifting.
Ay! Feeling ko sa mga Pinoy, parang parang not a good practice because sinasabi, diba, yung wala ka utang na loob, ganyan. But to me, nagawa ko na siya many times. Sorry. But I feel like,
Yung sorry.
yung justification ko dun is, I feel like the item would be in a better place if it's not in my home. Parang ganun.
Yeah, same. It would be more loved, more used, and kumbaga mas mafulfill niya yung purpose niya. How about, well, budgeting in general? What are your tips on that?
Actually, di ako magaling dyan. Pero
Really?
sa akin mas parang I have to earn more so I can spend more. If I don't earn more, or if say this month, konti lang yung racket ko, then wala akong right to spend. Parang ganun.
Yeah.
Mas
No, I get that.
Mas income flow based yung spending ko versus I have this much and ito lang yung pwede kong gastasin.
Yeah. No, I asked that because syempre as the Mayora of homebodies at lahat ng mga kapitbahays, ang impression siguro, first impression is parang, siguro talagang lahat binibili ni Mayora, lahat kaya niyang bilhin. Di ba? May ganong impression. But you, like you mentioned, parang it also depends sa pasok ng pera, what you'd like to spend. Meron ka bang ganun na parang dapat gantong percentage lang of what I earn is what I will spend on technically non-essentials?
Hindi ako man numbers, like hindi percentage. Pero I look at an item and I think of how long will I use this for? Say lalo na with mga coffee machines. Mahilig kasi ako sa coffee. So when I look at a coffee machine or a coffee accessory, isipin ko, is it an investment? Is it just a fad? How long will I use it? And I make sure if I buy something expensive, I maximize it. So say with my vacuum, kung 5 years na sa akin yung vacuum ko, na-ROI ko na yan, kahit mahal yan.
Yeah, I love that. Okay, siguro just to wrap this up, a lot of people kasi when they hear the word sustainability, parang ang laki. Parang pang mayaman lang naman yan or napaka complicated na konsepto to actually do every day. So I just like to ask you your advice on how any average Pinoy like us can be more mindful with what we consume.
I think yung sustainability for mayaman lang is a very big misconception. I think kasi meron din yung tinatawag na greenwashing, diba? They plaster yung mga eco-friendly, sustainable, and then they jack up the price. So for us na budgetarians, yung guiding principle lang I guess is, will this parang leave trash here in this world, after how many days? So parang if it's a long time na magagamit mo, then it's already a practice of sustainability. Say if you buy a furniture and yung furniture mo 10 years na, if you buy a car and your car will last you 20 years, yung car ng dad ko 20 years na, diba? So then it's sustainable. But if you intend to use it for just 2 years and you spend so much resources on it, then sayang. So yun, I guess the longer you use something, that's the more sustainable item to buy. Yun.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Mayora. Nice to meet you, Frances.
Thank you.
More power to homebodies. Wow, more power. There are many small changes we can make at home and with the way we go about our day-to-day to be able to live more sustainably. It may seem overwhelming, but like Mayora reminds us, and IKEA is here to tell us to start small and start here. If you want a little help in getting started on your journey to sustainable living, you can check out IKEA Philippines on Instagram or Facebook because they regularly post tips and advice. And of course, you can also join the Home Buddies Facebook group. And if you are looking to upgrade your home with furniture and fixtures that are more sustainable, the time is now. IKEA is really a great partner for affordability and sustainability. #Team IKEA. If you have a tip you would like to share as well, or even your favorite IKEA purchase that you have at home, I would love to hear from you. Please do tag me at @IamSuperBianca on Instagram stories, or Twitter. And you can also join our private Facebook group, the Paano Ba To Kumustahan group. That is it for our episode. Till our next one, supers, this is Paano Ba To, the podcast, a Spotify exclusive produced by me, Bianca Gonzalez, and Anima Podcasts. And to anyone who wants to start their own podcast, please check out Anchor. It's free and super easy to start your own podcast. Till our next, stay safe, supers!